guys, welcome back to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and this is... Hey, you have a different angle for the... I set the camera up with a slightly different angle for this video. We're talking about Kino Lorber. This is the August Kino Lorber Spotlight. Every single title from Kino Lorber and all of their partner labels, including Raro Video. We've got, there's a lot here. 8 4Ks. You know, I talked to Frank Tarzi. I think that was the last time I talked to him. Maybe it was the second from last time. And he was like, we're going to do 4, we're really shooting for 4 4Ks every single month. We've been getting 8. So this is huge. And we've also got some Kino Cult titles. More than 24 titles in this video. Thank you guys for watching this. Thanks to Kino Lorber for making this video possible each and every single month. Let's kick it off with the thing that I'm the most excited to share with you. This is the 2 Jakes on 4K with a commentary with Max Allan Collins, my friend, and yours truly. That's right. Me and Max sat down to talk about this controversial, very interesting, plagued movie, I might even say. This is, of course, the sequel to Chinatown, a movie that I think doesn't need a sequel, but we got one anyway, and this has been a really interesting... I'm trying to think how... The production history on this is more convoluted than I think any movie that I can think of. They start working on the... So you got Robert Evans, you've got Robert Towne, and you've got Jack Nicholson really deciding what a story, the next chapter. The glare on these is kind of bothering me. Okay. Look at that. There we go. Spines. They're really trying to figure out what's the next story to tell. And they meet and sort of go over all these details, like, well, we can, sort of pass on getting paid for this. We'll invest our own money in this. Ultimately, it breaks the 3 friendships up pretty much forever. And all that we're left with is the 2 Jakes as a document of what was and what could have been. And Max and I really get into it. And here, I'll tell you the dynamic behind this too. I don't love the 2 Jakes. I like aspects of the 2 Jakes. This is Jack Nicholson directly after the Joker in Batman. And he's gotten the biggest payday of his entire career. I think of the most historic payday in Hollywood at that point because of his backdoor royalties deal for Batman. So he's coming into this, he's like, I just want to direct now. He's set for life. He's like, I just want to direct now. How all of that changes is so interesting. So that's the commentary here for the 2 Jakes. And Max Allan Collins, having written dozens and dozens and more than 100 novels, crime, award-winning mystery writer, he can really get into, and he does really get into the ins and outs of the story itself. Like, here's how this works, here's how this plays and everything else. Such an interesting snapshot. If Chinatown is a 70s film looking back at a bygone era, this is 1990, and it feels completely different. And it's interesting to have that, a story that just keeps going, and there would have been a trilogy. We talk about that too, and I'm not going to tell you here. You got to listen to the commentary. I don't think this had no alternate artwork here. If you can tell, I'm really fighting allergies right now in the making of this video. I woke up very congested, and I'm sure you could probably hear it. But look, YouTube waits for no man. So we're going to press forward. Audio commentary by mystery writer and filmmaker Max Allan Collins with film historian and host of Serial at Midnight podcast, Heath Holland. Thanks, Kino Lorber, for that film historian credit. I appreciate that. Jack on Jake, interview with actor-director Jack Nicholson. Flying High with Jack, interview with actor David Keith. And Time Changes Things, editing the 2 Jakes, interview with editor Anne Gorsond, and the theatrical trailer. So that is the 2 Jakes. I think if you like mysteries and detective stories and film noir and neo-noir, you're probably going to want to have that on your shelf. Because, you're probably going to want to have that to watch it. I got a collecting video hitting in just a few days. The members have already seen it. And we're talking about collecting. So you got a bunch of movies on your shelf. Big deal. Are you watching them? Are you a movie fan? Can you talk about movies? Can you talk about the two Jakes? If I was like, what do you think works about it? What do you connect with? Can you answer that question? So yeah, Convoy. I love Convoy. When we got this first came out, I don't know, years ago from Kino Lorber. Convoy, we got a big old convoy. I can tell I'm loopier today for this video, but we're not starting over. No, not doing it over again. When this came out from Kino Lorber first, I was very excited because I love Convoy. It's not my favorite Chris Christopherson movie. I think that honor would probably go to something a lot of you guys maybe even never heard of, which is Vigilante Force. It's also got Jan Michael Vincent in it, and Chris Christopherson plays... He just sets up shop in this town. He just takes over this town, and it escalates quickly. And Bernadette Peters is in it, and oh man, it's really good. But Convoy is another one of my favorites because it really captures the trucksploitation genre of the late 70s and the very early 80s. Anyway, now we have the 4K. I think the last time this got released, I think this is the third release from Kino Lorber, but you can check. You can always check the facts yourself, and you should. I think the last one was the 4K restoration, and now we have the native 4K, this 4K restoration on a 4K release. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative. Audio commentary by film historian Steve Mitchell. Audio commentary by Sam Peckinpah historians Paul Sador, Garner Simmons, and Nick Redman. Audio commentary by filmmaker Peckinpah scholar Mike Siegel. Passion and Poetry, Sam's Trucker movie documentary. The Lost Convoy, video essay by Mike Siegel. 3 lost scenes, deleted scene illustrated with rare photos. 4 featurettes, image galleries. And a partridge and a pear tree. It's a very specific, that quavering. Remember The Hobbit? Here's where we're going. We'll get to the 4Ks in a minute. You remember the Rankin Bass version of The Hobbit? The greatest adventure. What a weird, so 70s. Okay. Xanadu. I've never seen Xanadu. This has just come out on 4K. I know that certain people of the roller derby persuasion, I don't know, if people love Xanadu, it's Olivia Newton-John. I've never seen it. I should, if for no other reason than just for the culture. Well, I will see it, of course, because now I have it on 4K. But and it's never going to look better than it does here. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master, 4K scan, 35mm OCN. That's the original camera negative. I'm surprised at myself for this video because I did not think this was going to come out when I turned on the camera. I was getting everything ready, and I was just boop, and then hello my baby, just got the performance fever apparently. Audio commentary by director Robert Greenwald, moderated by filmmaker Douglas Hosdale. Three more commentaries by Jennifer Clymer, Nathaniel Thompson, David Del Val, Christoph Charles, and Sam Deegan. Vintage 1980 sizzle reel, newly remastered in 2K, going back to Xanadu 2009 documentary with the cast and crew, TV spots, radio spots, and a theatrical trailer. Maybe do the special features for everything here. The greatest special feature. Happy Gilmore. What do we got? We got Billy Madison, was it last month? Now we got Happy Gilmore, the other part of what I consider to be two sides of the same coin. I have not seen this movie probably since 2000. It's probably been 25 years. And I remember some of it. Of course, they just did a sequel, which I haven't seen, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to watch that. No, stop making sequels to movies decades after the fact. Stop it. Come up with new ideas. And then us, movie fans, go see new ideas. And stop going I didn't love the 14th Fast and the Furious movie, but I hope they get it right with the 15th. Stop it. Stop being part of the problem. Ooh. That was spicy. I haven't seen this movie in forever. Let's see, isn't there a part where he's like, I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, because I get scared of being alone. And then, is that the one where the music is is that till the night closes in? Or maybe it's, I don't remember. Okay. Anyway, Happy Gilmore is out on 4K. What a world we're living in when we're getting all these, and we have another, the next one. Hey guys, Coneheads. You've been waiting for Coneheads on 4K for all your life. What a crazy market it is these days. Anyway, brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master 4K scan, audio commentary with author and filmmaker Brian Connolly and the Billy Gilmore podcast host Wilson Smith. Deleted scenes, outtakes, theatrical trailers. Coneheads. I haven't seen this one in a long time either. I don't remember liking it, but maybe it's time to revisit it. Oh, there's Chris Farley. Well, now I really... God bless Chris Farley. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master for 4K scan, OCN. Audio commentary director Steve Barron. Film historian Michael Felsher. Consuming mass quantities, an interview with Michelle Burke. A Garthok Narfled interview with monster creator Phil Tippett interview. Hold on. There's a Phil Tippett interview on this. Extended vintage clips with Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, Michelle Burke, Lorne Michaels, Steve Barron. Vintage EPK, that's electronic press kit, right? BTS footage, that's behind the scenes. Theatrical trailer and a TV spots. It's not singular. Oh, I needed to show you this. So this is the reversible art wrap. I don't think this is how you're supposed to display it, but there we go. This would only make sense as an interior art wrap, I think, but it's a black case. So if it were a clear case, then you would you'd see it when you're like, look at all that beautiful mass quantities artwork right there. But you can't see it because it's a black case. So I flipped that around so I could better report upon what you're getting for your money. Undisputed, a Walter Hill film. We got Wesley Snipes' Ving Rhames. What is Brady 4K Master from the 35mm original camera negative? I was like, because I try not to look at these before. Like sometimes I'll have seen the movies beforehand. Like the Two Jakes, obviously I worked on, but I try to go into some of these blind. And I was like, does it have a commentary from Walter Hill? It does not, but it does have an interview with Walter Hill and an audio commentary by action film historians Mike Leader and it's not Arn Venema, it's Matt Rutledge. Conversation with Wesley Snipes, conversation with Ving Rhames, who has the meats. If you guys seen the Arby's commercial, that is Ving Rhames. And now, every time I hear the "We have the meats," I think of him in Out of Sight, taking that old lady's groceries out to her car. And she's like, I'm not going to give you a tip because I didn't ask for your help. And he goes, that's okay. I'll just take your car. We have the meats. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative. No. Sorry. No alternate artwork here. The Rundown. Maybe one of the most... Back when The Rock was really consistent with good movies. I wish we could go back in time when he wasn't the size of a... When he's roughly the size of a barge. No one kicks like The Rock, no one. Anyway, oh wow, look at the cat. The Rock, and he's not even credited as Dwayne Johnson. He's still The Rock at this point. Sean William Scott coming off of that American Pie Heat. Christopher Walken. I want to be in this movie with this guy called The Rock. I can smell what he's cooking. Rosario Dawson. There's a scene in this movie where The Rock, I think they're going into a club, they're going into a building, and The Rock passes Arnold Schwarzenegger on the way out. And Schwarzenegger looks at The Rock and goes, have fun. And it was a literal, I guess it was still a metaphorical, but it was a passing of the torch, because they did not actually pass the torch to each other. But it was Schwarzenegger saying, it's your turn now. And wow, if we only knew that turn was going to go on for another 20 plus years, and there would be, Jungle Cruise movies and Disney, lots of Disney voice work as Maui in the Moana movies. I miss this. It was just a different time. This is a fun movie. I need to revisit it. It's Peter Berg. I forgot this was directed by Peter Berg. Audio commentary, brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master, 4K scan, 35mm OCN. Audio commentary by director Peter Berg and the star Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's going to be archival, I'm sure. Audio commentary by producers Kevin Meisher and Mark Abraham. Audio commentary by action film historians Mike Leader and filmmaker Matt Ritledge. Rumble in the Jungle featurette, the Amazon Hawaiian style featurette, the Rundown, a rockumentary. They're bringing all the stuff that was on the DVD, or maybe it was on the Blu-ray too. I just remember I had this on DVD because that was when this was, this was a DVD era hit that shipped. I wonder how many copies of the Rundown sold on DVD. It's got to be close to 100,000. Maybe it's more than 100,000. It was a system seller, I think. The Lords of Discipline, David Keith. I should have put this after the two Jakes. Robert Prosky, G.D. Spradlin. The Institute's Code of Honor. A cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. It is a simple code. It is a stern code. It is also a lie. So this is 1983. Who wrote? Let's see, directed by Frank Rudum. Who wrote this? Come on, man. Well, and why did I... Screenplay by Thomas Pope and Lloyd Fonville. Okay. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master. Okay, from the 4K scan of the original camera negative. Audio commentary by Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson with Pat Conroy historian Lynn Smith. An actor and a gentleman. Interview with star David Keith. Films to Change the World. Interview with director Frank Rudum. Okay. Oh, we're moving over into... by the way, I should tell you, Convoy is a 3-disc set. Everything else is like 4K and Blu-ray. Convoy is 4K and Blu-ray, and then a Blu-ray special features disc, because there's all those special features. Did we even... I don't remember if we even talked about the special features for Convoy. Now I have to go back and look. Yeah, we did. But it's a whole 3rd disc for that, because it's just that much stuff. Yes, friends, it's just that simple. It's quoting Dan Aykroyd from Saturday Night Live, circa year 1? 2 Kino Cult releases. This is, let me get them in order here, 34 and 35. Okay, 34 is The Vengeance of Dr. Mabuse, with directed by Jeff Franco. Hold on, listen. Listen. Do you hear that rumble? That is the thousands of Jess Franco fans who just heard his name mentioned and are running to the spot. You can hear them in the distance. Jess Franco. I have never encountered a fandom, I think, that is as devout as Jess Franco fans. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen a Jess Franco movie that I watched and said, that was a good movie. And people keep going, oh, well, you need to watch. And then I do. And I'm like, well, that's not a good movie. Even the movies that I like by Jess Franco, like The Girl from Rio, they're not good. It's not a good movie. It's got all kinds of mess. But people love Jess Franco. And more power to those people. I'm not criticizing those people. It is just remarkable to see the cult fandom. Hey, that's the cult in Kino Cult. They know their audience here. So this has one solitary extra. It's got an audio commentary by film historians Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson. We have no restoration notes here, so I'm assuming this is just a... I shouldn't say just. I'm assuming this is a transfer that's been around for a while, because it doesn't say that it's new. But and no alternate artwork here either. Nope. And then rivaling the Franco fandom is the Paul Naschy fandom. So we have Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. I suspect that this whole line, should I say that? Yeah, I say whatever I want here. Is to compete with companies like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, who have really tapped into these, like, here's a whole box set of this person. Here's 2 box sets from this person. I think that this is probably Kino Lorber, wisely recognizing the buying power of that audience and trying to serve that audience too. So this is a 3D title. It does have, look, we've got all, is that okay? Yeah. We do have 3D glasses in this release. It's Kino Lorber in association with the 3D Film Archive, who've been here at Serial at Midnight multiple times. The 3D Film Archive. We have includes the 2D, Blu-ray 3D, and anaglyphic red cyan 3D versions. Audio commentary by novelist and critic Tim Lucas. Audio commentary by film historians Troy Howarth, Troy Gwynn, and Rodney Barnett. About the 3D restoration by Tim Lucas. Alternate opening title sequence, deleted scenes, theatrical trailer, radio spots. That's all right. Film Noir volume, The Dark Side of Cinema volume 26. This is interesting because it's got Dr. Broadway, Smooth as Silk, and The Great Gatsby. But in something I've never seen Kino Lorber, I mean, maybe they've done this before, but I don't remember it. We were also getting a standalone release of The Great Gatsby with a slipcover. So it's the same. In fact, I think, is this even... Oh, it's got different art. It's got different art for the collectors. It's the same disc. It's got the same audio space. Hang on here. Hold on. Great Gatsby. 1949. Audio commentary by film historian Paul Talbot, who's great. Tough guy, movie guy, Paul Talbot. My friend Jason Nye did a commentary for this for the imprint release of The Great Gatsby. That's his favorite book. And he's a professor, so I've heard his commentary, and I wonder why that's not here in addition to Paul Talbot. It's just interesting, probably a licensing thing maybe. But both commentary on both discs. Interview with David Ladd, son of Alan Ladd, both discs, theatrical trailer. These are identical, but they have different art. Does this even have reversible? No, it's not even reversible. So if you're a Great Gatsby super fan, well, you got to buy them both, my friends. All right, so we've talked. It's a good. I like. It's different from the source material in the sense that it's really almost a film noir approach to The Great Gatsby, which I think kind of benefits the story. It's just a whole different style, and because I've become an Alan Ladd super fan, he was really hungry for more meteor roles to sink his teeth into, because he felt very typecast, and even though he did a ton of different things, but he was constantly pushing to do those different things. It's good. I like that version of the movie, or that version of the story. Smooth as Silk has Kent Taylor and Virginia Gray. This is a 1946 film with an audio commentary by Alan K. Rhodey in the theatrical trailer. And Dr. Broadway, McDonald Carey, Gene Phillips, directed by Anthony Mann, who I love, and it's from the period of Anthony Mann's career that I prefer, which is his 40s more noir. 42, I'm going to call that pre-noir, but there are no rules for noir, but I tend to think that pure noir really needs to be after World War II, because it's when those directors and everyone who had fought in the war come back and start to struggle with what they've seen and done. But listen, we don't need gatekeepers, so it belongs here. These Dark Side of Cinema box sets have a very loose thesis, right? They I'm calling it pre-noir. It belongs in the box set. Audio commentary by filmmaker Alan Arkish, and film historian and filmmaker Daniel Kramer. You can see Daniel Kramer here talking about how he became a fan and a filmmaker, as a guest on one of my podcast episodes. Audio commentary by film historian Jeremy Arnold. This is a brand new HDR master from a 4K scan. I think that's the only one here that has... Oh, The Great Gatsby is a brand new HDR master from a 4K scan as well. All right, so that's the film noir box set. I'm excited about checking this out because this is kind of where I'm at right now. This is two pre-codes with Sylvia Sidney and 1931, and I love that period. Was it just the last super show that I was talking about, how everything had been done by the end of the 30s? You start with pre-codes like this, and you end with Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz. Did I say that in the last video I put up, I think? I post things sometimes out of the order that I record them. But I know I've said that recently, and this is a further example of that. So 4K scans for both of these. Obviously, this is a Blu-ray, but it's 4K scans. I'm not even going to read the back of all this, but we got audio commentary by film historian David Del Val and film historian archivist Stan Schaffer. Oh, Stan Schaffer from Anyway, from Cinecon, right? Stan from Cinecon. If that's not Stan, now I'm doubting myself. Anyway, those are the two audio commentaries. That's pretty bare bones. But you're getting two movies. Are they on one disc? Probably, yeah, because they are 75 and 76 minutes each. So you're not even looking at, so short. Repossessed. This is one of those 1990 spoofs. Isn't this in the style of The Naked Gun? Yeah, rapid fire hilarity. It's a spoof of The Exorcist, basically. And Linda Blair's back. Ned Beatty. The devil's back, but he's never dealt with an exorcist like this. We have an audio commentary by writer-director Bob Logan and a theatrical trailer. No restoration notes on this whatsoever, so it's probably an older transfer. Gung Ho. I really like this movie. It's Michael. I like every Michael Keaton movie, but this is such an unusual film. The kind of I'm not going to say the kind of thing that we don't get anymore, because we do still get movies like this, but people just don't go see them, and then they eventually end up on streaming services and fall way to the bottom of the algorithm, and nobody knows they ever existed. So I'm glad that it's a 4K scan, but it's a Blu-ray. It's a new 4K scan from the 35mm original camera negative. Audio commentary by filmmaker and author Dwayne Epstein. Finding Common Ground, interview with actor Getty Watanabe. And a big old movie, interview with actor George Wendt. Did this have... No. Save the Tiger, Jack Lemmon. I believe this was an imprint release previously. Now we have it here. Some of the stuff we're going to talk about here it's interesting because it was only available before either digitally or as an import, and now they're coming home. Bring the boys back. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision master. No, brand new HDR master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative. Audio commentary by director John G. Avildsen. Of course, that's Rocky. And writer-producer Steve Shagan. Audio commentary by film historian author Dwayne Epstein, and the theatrical trailer. Scoop, Woody Allen. I'm not afraid of Woody Allen. I'm glad that his movies continue to get some distribution here. This is, of course, got Hugh Jackman and Scarlett Johansson. Ian McShane, I don't remember. Anyway, there's no special features here, just a theatrical trailer. I don't know if that's because it's a Woody Allen movie. I don't know. That's probably that is speculation. I don't want to assume anything. Maybe there wasn't a budget for that. And in some cases, I can tell you this from the inside, because I've done over dozens of commentaries now. Sometimes the studio doesn't want a commentary for something, and so they'll say, "You can put this out, no commentary, no special features, no retrospectives." That's happening more and more. Double feature. Now, each of these are being released individually. You've got Smoke and Blue in the Face. Interestingly, Imprint released this too as a sort of a double disc box set. Now, but individually, and you can get this double feature. They're both on their own disc, so it's a 2-disc set, but it's shelf friendly packaging. I've talked about these before. The cast: William Hurt, Harvey Keitel, Stockard Channing, Harold Perrineau Jr., Giancarlo Esposito, Ashley Judd, and Forrest Whitaker. A lot of the same cast repeats for Blue in the Face: Victor Argo, Giancarlo Esposito, Michael J. Fox, Mel Gorham, Jim Jarmusch, Harvey Keitel, Lou Reed, Roseanne, Mira Sorvino, Lily Tomlin, Malik Yoba. This has interviews. The only features are for Smoke. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. No. That's not true. Interview with director Wayne Wang, moderated by Kate McKay, associate film curator of Berkeley Art Museum Pacific Film Archive. Interviews with writer Paul Auster, an excerpt from Running Away to the Circus, Paul Auster on film. Smoke behind the scenes featurette, Smoke Berlin Film Festival press conference from 1995, and the Blue in the Face archival conversation with Lou Reed. All right. The Farmer's Daughter. All right. I'm wearing down. I'm like, huh. No restoration notes for this either. Audio commentary by film historian Farron Smith Nime. It's a Universal film, 1940. It's 60 minutes long. It's got the tagline on this: "She made Broadway boys into handy men." Definitely having fun with the wordplay there, I think. Looking forward. This is the kind of thing I've seen. Seen so many of these other movies. This is the area of exploration to discovery for me. It's 30s, 40s, 50s, even into the 60s. Here's another one. 1931, Huckleberry Finn, starring Jackie Coogan. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Coogan was Uncle Fester on The Addams Family, but long before that, he was a child actor who appeared with Charlie Chaplin in the, I don't know if it's the best of those Chaplin movies, but The Kid is certainly, the Kid is the name of the movie. Probably one of the most famous Chaplin movies. So here he is as... let's see, holy Jackie Coogan, Mitzi Green, Junior Durkin star in this underseen 1931 version of the Mark Twain classic novel. This is exciting to me. I'm really looking forward to checking this out. It's a Paramount film. Oh, directed by Norman Taurog. It's Universal distributed. People always go, "Did you know?" Yes, I know. In the 1950s, when television starts to compete with cinema, everyone sees television as the studios, the companies see television as the next new frontier for dollars, for profits. So Universal did not have a huge library by which to monetize. They had the shock feature, the shock theater packages that they distributed out. They bought Paramount titles. I try to remember the number of them. It's hundreds of Paramount movies that they purchased and then therefore basically own. There were movies made by Paramount that are now controlled by Universal, and this was one of those that they were intended to sell to television packages to make money. And we could go even further with that. That might be a video, when I have more time on my hands, to talk about the way that the television scene of the 1950s was approached differently. You've got guys like Herbert J. Yates at Republic who started to chop up their serials. As he's like, well, we have all these, serialized episodes in our vaults. We could turn these into... we could turn them into feature films for theatrical distribution, cut them down to like 1 hour and 12-minute versions for theatrical distribution. But we also have all these things we can sell to television. We have these Westerns with Gene Autry and Roy Rogers, all these Roy Rogers Westerns we could sell to television. And Roy Rogers is like, well, hold on a second. I got paid for a movie version of that, not for TV version. I need to get paid again. And Herbert J. Yates is like, well, I'm sorry, pal. You don't own the movies, and I do. And they went to court, and Roy Rogers lost. And there's a whole lot more story than that. But that's such an interesting time in history. And I think we find ourselves back there again, where television has really taken a lot of the thunder from the cinematic experience. And now people only go to the movies to see Deadpool or some huge spectacle movie. If it's a smart or, a character piece that's not like, boom, boom explosions all the time, they'll just stay home. They'll watch it when it hits streaming. We're right back where we were in 1955. Isn't that crazy? All these years later. Anyway, it's exciting I'm excited to get to that. All right, we've got some more stuff here. These are going to be DVDs, except for the last one, which I'm saving for the end. This is Chicken? Is I'm pronouncing that? Boldly and loudly theatrical. Verges on the Hypnotic, says Variety. From the Oscar winner producer of The Last Emperor. From award-winning director Amos Gitai. It stars the legendary Irene Jacob. It's a thought-provoking and shocking drama. A diverse cross-section of Israeli society converges in a single multi-use building as people of different language origins, generations come together in a highly theatrical encounter. They grapple with the current state of affairs. Okay, so it's a chamber piece with all these different characters. It's 12 angry men in a building is what it sounds like. Rent Free, a film by Fernando Andres. This is going to be, after hitting emotional and financial rock bottom, best friends Ben Gay and Jordan Bai come up with a scheme to spend an entire year living rent free with the help of friends, families, and hookups, all in a rapidly changing Austin, Texas. Told with a satirical bite and impressive ensemble cast, Rent Free is a high anxiety comedy about a generation on the edge, as well as okay. Also, Singled Out season 3, right? Yes. Where did this show come from? I'm trying to remember. It's in English. Okay. these are short seasons. I don't even know where this comes on television, right? Anyway, this is season 3. Note of special features, bloopers and stuff. I appreciate the honesty here. Special features, bloopers and stuff. You got bloopers. What else do you have? Stuff. Here's another. Is this the other Israeli film? Yes, this is another Israeli film called Delegation. It is about 3 Israeli high school friends who take part in a class trip visiting Holocaust sites in Poland. It sounds like, to me, a variation. What's that movie? The Jesse Eisenberg, Kieran Culkin movie that just came out and Kieran Culkin won. Did he win the Oscar for that? What is the name of that movie? You know the movie. These 2 friends go, well, they're not just friends. Aren't they family? They go visit, on the trail of the Holocaust sites and stuff. So this is an Israeli film, which is going to have a whole different hit when it punches. Simple Minds, Everything is Possible. This is, of course, a documentary about the band. Simple Minds is one of the most iconic and influential Scottish bands in history. Their hit songs include Alive and Kicking and Someone, Somewhere, in Summertime, as well as the #1 mega hit Don't You Forget About Me, featured in the John Hughes Breakfast Club. From working class kids growing up in post-industrial Glasgow to rock stars playing Live Aid, this documentary tells the unlikely story of an extraordinary band that continues to tour the world today. I wish this was a Blu-ray, because this sounds like a really cool documentary, but we're not going to have, it's not going to be in HD, so obviously, standard definition and stereo, 2.0 stereo. But we get it. If you want to add, if you're a Simple Minds collector, at least you have the option to own it instead of just streaming it or watching it digitally. I saved the best, not the best. I saved this for last because I thought it was really interesting. This is from Raro Video. This is The Medium, a 1980 film from Silvio Amadeo. It's an insidiously creepy supernatural horror film from director Silvio Amadeo, following the death of his wife, an American music composer, Guido. Let's see, this is Italian, right? So Guido Manari moves to an old mansion in Rome with his youngest son. They are soon haunted by a series of inexplicable events, causing them to hire a medium to divine the true nature of their seemingly cursed existence. We've got an audio commentary by film historians and hosts of the Wild Wild podcast, Adrian Smith and Rod Barnett. So that's it. So if you're, it's horror season's here, man. I mean, it's always horror season for movie people like us, but it gets extra crazy at this time of the year. I know people that go, I'm going to watch 3 horror movies a day. Whew, that's ambitious. All right, thanks to Kino Lorber. Thanks to you guys. I appreciate you. What are you interested in here? What are you going to pick up? Do you now want to go watch the Rankin Bass version of The Hobbit? Because if you do, so do I. I also found out the other day, I had totally forgotten, that there's a Rankin Bass version of The Wind in the Willows. And I think now I want to go watch that too, because I don't think I've ever seen it. Maybe I have. When you're as old as I am, sometimes you forget you've seen things. I was telling somebody the other day, I was telling my friend DJ, who was here in town for a film festival. We caught up a screening. We caught the Long Live the State, which is a documentary about the sketch comedy group The State. And it's amazing if you get to see it. Do see that, because The State is hilarious, and every single one of those people has gone on to great success. And I was telling him, we were talking about physical media and collecting and movies, and how he was asking me about Letterboxd, and it's like, I don't really use Letterboxd the way everybody else does. I usually just copy my reviews, because it's, people use Letterboxd like, it was okay, 2 stars. I'm like, nobody needs that. That doesn't help anybody. But if this part worked, this part doesn't work, I like this, this needs, but that's just the way my brain works. So I was saying to him that, I was like, he said, I use Letterboxd to keep track of what I watch. And I was like, that's actually a good idea, because I can be 20 minutes into a movie that I think I haven't seen and then realize I've seen it before. Because when you've seen thousands and thousands of movies, sometimes they just sort of fade into the background of your brain. So, all that to say, maybe I've seen The Wind in the Willows from Rankin Bass, but I sure do love Rankin Bass, and it's certainly time for a revisit. Continue the conversation in the comments below. Let me know what you're interested in. Let me know, if have you seen the Sylvia Sidney pre-codes? That'd be a cool thing to talk about. Some of you have, because I know there's people in there with deep, vast film knowledge. Are you a Jess Franco fan who heard that I was talking about these and then just showed up You came to this place because you heard Jess Franco mentioned. Same for the Paul Naschy fans. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Take care. Until next time, I will catch you later.